Coming up tonight, student government presidential nominees will give you a look inside their campaigns.
And a voter ID bill passed in the Iowa Senate.
And I'll give you an inside look in all things Cyclone sports.
And March is here and spring-like temperatures are on the way. We'll talk about how warm it's going to get coming up. All that and much more as Newswatch starts right now.
Thanks for watching and have a good rest of your night and week. Stay classy, Cyclones.
Good evening and welcome to this edition of Newswatch. It's March 2nd and I'm Mary Kahn.
And I'm Courtney Dust. Thanks for joining us. Student government elections are coming up next week. Lindsay Greifsue and Tisa Tolinar introduced you to two more candidates.
Government elections are almost here, and although you might not be seeing quite as much chalk art around campus lately, the race is still going strong. How much do you know about the people behind the chalk? This week, we talked to Connor Tillo and Rachel Barnes, two of this year's president and VP candidates.
What Rachel and I like to think that we provide to the conversation is just
activities.
Tillo, who plans to serve as a pilot in the Air Force after graduation,
We gotta get up
is
from
running
the
for the
desk.
presidency. He currently serves as Vice Speaker of the Student Government Senate and is passionate about helping student government run more efficiently and effectively.
we have the capacity to create a lot of change and a lot of good things for the university and the student body.
Rachel Barnes is the vice presidential candidate. While she has no previous experience with student government, she is very active in the Iowa State community as president of Alpha Delta Pi and a member of several other clubs. She's eager to bring her outside knowledge into student government in order to give student organizations more of a voice on campus.
Having worked in a lot of outside organizations, I've been able to see how efficient most student organizations are and how they function. And I'd really take a lot of my leadership roles in high-functioning student organizations into student government.
The two are working to promote inclusion and diversity on campus, transparency to keep students and student government united, holistic health regarding student accommodations and general well-being, and providing more services for students to enhance the student experience.
There is an underrepresentation of women in student government, and something I'm very passionate about is gender equality. I think the only way we can really make great decisions is that if we have an inclusive and diverse group in the room.
Each Iowa State student pays $36 every semester to help fund student government. So Tillo and Barnes think that it's very important for every student to get their money's worth and vote for who they think will benefit them the most.
The students should be invested in this, and if they're not, then student government isn't able to represent those voices if they aren't voting for who they think is best fit for the leadership.
For information on these candidates and others running this year, visit the website on your screen. And don't forget to watch your email for the ballot on March 7th.
The online platform Blackboard Learn is on the way out at Iowa State University. The university made the announcement at the student government meeting Wednesday. Blackboard Learn will be replaced by Blackboard Ultra in the spring of 2018. The license with Blackboard Learn is coming to an end, so the university says a replacement is necessary. A spokesperson with the university says Blackboard Ultra is very different from the current system and has additional capabilities, like a mobile application.
The 8th Annual Symposium of Sustainability closed Tuesday night with Sustainapalooza, There's No Planet B. The Symposium of Sustainability is sponsored by Iowa State's Office of Sustainability and the Green Umbrella. Sustainapalooza looks to engage the community in topics related to research projects, initiatives, and events that can lead to a sustainable future. The event highlights campus and community accomplishments in promoting living green. When participants entered the Memorial Union, they were met with a display showing questions on how they can lessen their carbon footprint. The event concluded with films that address the relationship with social, economic, and environmental sustainability.
Iowa State's International Student Council's Humanitarian Awareness Committee is holding an event called Changing Perspectives. This event is for students to experience what it is like to be physically disabled. The event aims to promote awareness on how people are affected by physical disabilities. The Vice President of the ISC, Hannah Rizduan, says that changing perspectives will be informative and interactive and involves accomplishing simple tasks with a twist. At the end of the event, a reflection session will be available for people to ask questions and discuss what they have learned. Changing Perspectives will be held tomorrow at 4:30 in 1106 Pearson Hall. If you want to sign up for this event, you can go to ISC's Facebook page or register at the event.
Last week, Destiny Foamsavin, a junior in apparel merchandising and design, hosted a Beauty Counter social event on Iowa State's campus. Beauty Counter is a nationally recognized organization that is known for its personal care products to promote its mission to get safer products into the hands of everyone. Beauty Counter is a company that recognizes that certain health issues such as cancer and infertility can be linked to chemicals in everyday beauty products. This company created a Never list on its website that provides a list of unsafe chemicals banned from use in their products. Beauty Counter's products are sold online and during events that consultants host.
Tomorrow is also Iowa State's annual conference on race and ethnicity. The event is better known by the acronym iScore. iScore includes presentations from students and staff on issues related to race and ethnicity. Tomorrow's lineup includes a presentation by multicultural student athletes. Another one is the immigration narratives of Iowa State students and faculty. There will be over 30 sessions and topics throughout the day in the Memorial Union. All are free and open to the Iowa State community. Coming up after the break, a new voter ID bill passed in the Iowa Senate.
And more news on the Trump campaign team. Stay tuned, you're watching Newswatch. Welcome back. 2 transgender women were killed in 48 hours in New Orleans. China Gibson was gunned down Saturday night, while the second woman was found with multiple stab wounds Monday morning. No arrests have been made in either cases, but police say they appear to be unrelated. Still, the transgender community is on edge and hoping the 2 murders weren't due to a hate crime.
A voter identification bill, passed in the Iowa Senate subcommittee Wednesday. Senate Study Bill 1163, proposed by Republican Secretary of State Paul Pate, was approved on a 2-to-1 vote and advanced to the State Senate Government Committee. This bill calls for establishing a voter identification system with signature verification, absentee ballot verification, and post-election audits. Any registered voter that does not have a form of ID will be provided a voter ID card automatically in the mail. This bill is somewhat controversial because Democrats are refuting that this will suppress voters. This bill is being considered to prevent against voter fraud.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions recused himself from any investigation concerning the Trump campaign team and Russian officials on Thursday, after it was discovered that Sessions lied under oath about his own connections with the Kremlin. According to documents obtained by the New York Times, Sessions had 2 meetings with Russian officials during the 2016 presidential campaign, but failed to disclose any mention of this communication during his hearing on January 10th. While lawmakers from both sides are calling for Sessions' resignation, some Democrats are calling for Sessions to be charged with perjury.
Senior White House advisor Kellyanne Conway will not be disciplined for her endorsement of Ivanka Trump's clothing line because she was speaking in a light, offhanded manner. That's what the White House Counsel Office says. The man behind the office's ethics investigation says he spoke with Conway, and it is highly unlikely the situation will happen again. A different office, the Office of Government Ethics, made an earlier recommendation that Conway be disciplined, but that office does not have the authority to enforce its rulings. All of this stems from Conway's comments like, "Go buy Ivanka's stuff," in a television interview she gave last month, and the question of whether she violated federal rules.
The United States immigration laws might get a huge overhaul. President Trump proposed the U.S. move to a merit-based immigration system in his speech before Congress Tuesday night. Merit-based systems generally give priority to immigrants based on things like skills, education, and financial means. Critics say the U.S. depends on low-skill immigrants to fill jobs like farm and kitchen work. The current U.S. immigration system gives the majority of visas to immigrants on the basis that they already have family in the United States.
Drama erupted in the House on Thursday when Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul demanded, but was then denied, permission to see the Obamacare repeal bill that the House Republicans have been constructing. GOP members of the Energy and Commerce Committee have been writing drafts of the bill in a secure location. Believing that this is their attempt to make the process a secret, Rand stated that this should be an open and transparent process. This is being presented as if it were a national secret, as if this was a plot to invade another country, as if this were national security, and that's wrong. The Energy Commerce Committee insists that this is just a regular part of discussing and refining draft legislature language on issues under our committee's jurisdiction. And now we're joined at the desk by Zach. Zach, what's going on in the world of Cyclone sports?
Well, after the break, I'll give you an exclusive coverage of the women's basketball game against Oklahoma State. Stay tuned. You're watching Newswatch. Welcome back from the break. I'm Zach Williamson with your Cyclone Sports Update. After winning 5 straight games to end the regular season, the Iowa State women's basketball team finished 9-9 in the Big 12. Good enough for the 5 seed in the conference tournament. Ben Olsen was there Monday night with an inside look at the game.
The Iowa State women's basketball team hosted Oklahoma State on senior night. Cyclone seniors Shauna Johnson, Lexi Albright, Jordan Jensen, and Heather Bowe ran onto the court for the final time at Hilton Coliseum. Iowa State got off to a slow start, but a 10-0 run helped them end the first quarter, leading 19-8. The Cyclone women would not look back from there, going into halftime with a 33-22 advantage. It was a physical third quarter that saw Iowa State run their lead into the 20s. Iowa State shot well from the line all night and made their free throws down the stretch. When the final buzzer sounded, Iowa State prevailed 61-48. With the win, the Cyclones improved to 9-9 in the Big 12 and 18-11 overall. In her Hilton finale, Shauna Johnson put on a show, recording a double-double of 18 points and 14 rebounds. Jada Buckley scored 15 points and dished out 8 assists to continue her consistent play. Strong defense and hustle plays were a theme for the Cyclones as they held Oklahoma State to just 25.3% shooting for the game. After the game, an emotional ceremony was held to honor the 4 Cyclone seniors and all that they've invested in the program.
Senior night's an emotional night for a lot of things, and to end it with a win, to end it in front of another amazing crowd, to end it in a way that our players will remember forever is a special moment. This is an amazingly special place with the most amazing fan base, support staff in the country, and I think our players got to experience that one more time.
However, they're not done yet. The Cyclones are riding a 5-game winning streak into the Big 12 tournament, where they will play 24th-ranked Kansas State on March 4th in Oklahoma City. For ISUtv, I'm Ben Olsen.
Tuesday night's game at Hilton Coliseum wasn't just another nail-biter win like so many others the Cyclones have had this season. It was their 6th win in a row, and it was the last win 7 Cyclone seniors will ever have at Hilton. The Iowa State men's basketball team took care of business on senior night, bringing home an 86-83 victory over one of the hottest teams in the Big 12, Oklahoma State. The Cyclones made 15 three-pointers in the game, 7 of them coming from the hot hand of senior guard Matt Thomas, who finished with 25 points. Thomas, Nazmitru Long, Deontay Burton, and Monte Morris really made their senior night special, combining for 74 of the team's 86 points. The Cyclones look to stay hot Friday night in their last regular season game at West Virginia, hoping to grab the 2 seed in the Big 12 tournament. The men's basketball team has gotten so much out of this year's senior class, especially 4-year veterans Matt Thomas and Monte Morris, and the 5-year Cyclone, Nazmitru Long. All 3 of these players will finish their careers with at least 2 Big 12 tournament championships and at least 2 Sweet 16 appearances. They have also helped contribute to Iowa State's 6 straight 20-win seasons and 6 straight NCAA tournament showings. Thomas is currently 3rd all-time in Iowa State history in three-pointers made, trailing Mitru Long, who is 2nd on the list. Morris will leave Iowa State with the most assists and steals by any player to ever throw on a Cyclone jersey. On top of that, Morris has the NCAA Division I season and career record for assist-to-turnover ratio. Thank you, seniors, for everything you've done here at Iowa State, and best of luck the rest of the season and beyond. The Iowa State women's tennis team has started the season running out of the gates. The Cyclones are setting at a 9-2 record and are winners of 6 straight, most recently sweeping the Northern Iowa Panthers 7-0 last Saturday. Senior Sammy Budai has had an outstanding season thus far and has recently been rewarded for it by being named to the Big 12 Player of the Week. Budai is only the 2nd Iowa State tennis player to do so, the first since Aaron Coronis did in 2009. The Cyclones will travel to Sioux Falls, South Dakota to try and keep up their winning ways this Saturday against Sioux Falls and Augustana. Well, one day we're wearing t-shirts, the next day we're wearing coats. Zane, what is going on with this Iowa weather?
You know, you're right, Zach. The past couple weeks have been pretty weird. Today, we saw some sunshine, we saw some snow, but temperatures were actually pretty normal. But coming up, our weekend is going to get much warmer. We'll talk about how warm right after this. Welcome back. If you were outside today, you might have been just a little bit confused. We had some snow, we had breaks of sunshine, clouds. Temperatures, though, were actually pretty normal for this time of year, at least the beginning of March. 20s and lower 30s up to the northern Iowa, where they still have snowpack, and then mid-30s for most of us, just a few lower 40s off to the south and western part of Iowa. Right now, we've kind of fallen back down into the 20s for most of the state. 27 here in Ames, 29 down in Des Moines. Currently, like I said, here in Ames, 27 degrees under clear skies at this hour, and the winds are just light breeze out of the north-northwest at 9 miles per hour. Like I said, though, we did have those snow showers that kind of scooted across much of Iowa from the northwest to the southeast through much of the day. Those have mostly died off and cleared out, and then we're going to have clear skies at least for part of the evening tonight. So here's Futurecast. You can see that clearing across much of the state. As we get through the evening hours, there will be some clouds that build in a little bit into early on Friday morning, and then Futurecast is kind of starting to try to paint in some light snow showers in the northeastern part of the state tomorrow morning. I doubt we're really going to see that, mostly just some clouds tomorrow. Then those will move off. A ridge of high pressure is then going to build in from the west. That's going to clear our skies out, switch our winds out of the southwest, and going to bring in much warmer air as we get into your Saturday and Sunday. In the meantime, tomorrow, though, highs will be warmer than they were today, much more seasonable. 30s off to the north where they still have that snow, 40s across much of the middle part of the state, and then maybe upper 40s, maybe 50s, low 50s in the southwestern part of Iowa. On Saturday, or this should say Friday, excuse me, Friday is when we're going to see Saturday, not Friday, all right? This is what the graphic should say. This is when the warm air arrives, 53 degrees in Waterloo, 50 up in Mason City, 60s across much of central Iowa. So that is going to be when the warm air arrives. So weekend activities, if you're headed outside, perfect weekend for that. Tonight, in the meantime, here in Ames, going to be pretty chilly out there. 19 degrees tonight, partly cloudy skies, and winds will be light out of the north-northwest at 5 to 10. Tomorrow we work our way up to a high of 40, a little bit warmer than today. Those clouds will move along through, and then our winds will be from the southeast, just a light breeze out there. Our extended forecast, there's that warm air that starts to move in on Saturday, clear skies, high 59. Even better on Sunday, a high of 65. Chance of rain comes along, maybe a few thunder showers on Monday, and then we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the middle part of next week. 50s for the entire stretch of that time period. It'll be very nice as we get into the middle part of March. All right, stick around with us. We got much more Newswatch coming up.
The great Amazon web outage mystery has been solved. The 4-hour outage that left thousands without working online servers was apparently caused by just one typo in the code. That's right, just one coded command was incorrectly entered and caused a total shutdown of Amazon's cloud computing service that serves tens of thousands of websites around the world. It's designed to correct its own type, whether it's large or small. The company hopes this issue will not happen again, and they are working to fix any issues that could really break the internet.
Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin and Democratic Congressman Peter Welch of Vermont introduces the Dairy Pride Act, which is an acronym for the Defending Against Imitations and Replacements of Yogurt, Milk, and Cheese to Promote Regular Intake of Dairy Every Day Act. The bill suggests that imposters of dairy milk such as almond, soy, and coconut should not get to call themselves milk because it hurts dairy farmers that have to meet FDA standards. This bill has also led to the accusation of mislabeled plant-based alternative products that have a range of ingredients that are not equivalent to the nutritional content of dairy products. If the FDA were to follow these requests and target new and old non-dairy products for selected enforcement, it would violate First Amendment rights of the producers.
A family in Georgia got quite the surprise after looking through photos of a recent fishing trip and discovering a ghost. The family had spent the day fishing at the lake when the 13-year-old daughter decided to take a quick selfie and caught a strange figure in the background. The mother of the family uploaded the picture to Facebook to see if it could be explained, and some swear that the figure is just a smiling prospect. Others believe it's simply the camera capturing the shadows of the trees. I don't know, what do you all think?
Well, that's pretty spooky. Hopefully it was a friendly ghost.
Yeah.
That smile didn't look too friendly to me. I'm definitely not going to Georgia or fishing anytime soon.
I don't know about you all, but I do not believe in ghosts. So that's all for this edition of Newswatch.
Stay tuned for next Tuesday for more news, weather, and sports.
Have a good night, Ames.